Hi there, how are you? I want to share a rich tip today all around communications. Over the last couple of weeks, many of my clients have been struggling with communication, or at least um, getting other people to understand them, but more so that they understand other people. So if you're struggling to influence others to do what it is that you need them to do, if you are struggling to handle a difficult conversation or a conflict in a very unemotional, logical, and effective way, if you're struggling to really ensure that what you're saying is clear, concise, and well understood, and if you're struggling to um, get people to react, respond, or act, then you might take a look at what I call the 6 Ps of communications. And there's typically two on the front and the back end of the 6 Ps that most people overlook, or they don't spend enough time, or they totally ignore, not really being very conscious or aware that these things are important for them. So I call it the 6 Ps. And the 6 Ps would be planning what you want to say, preparing it, practicing it, and then presenting it, processing it, and pursuing it. Let me break them down real quickly for you. So very simply, planning is planning it out. If you're wondering why what you're saying isn't clear or concise, you probably just need to plan it more effectively. If you're struggling with influencing others, you might not be intentional and conscious of what it is, who it is, and how you need to present it for the receiving party. If you're struggling to handle that difficult conversation, maybe that performance review or a conflict between yourself and someone else, or you're dealing with a difficult bullying type of individual, a lot of what it takes to go into confronting that type of conversation really needs to be thought out. So you really need to plan. Then need to prepare. So you're planning kind of the talking points and the agenda and the timeline and the expectations and the goals and the desired outcome you want from a conversation, but then you need to prepare it. What are those talking points that you want to raise? In advance, proactively, what are those responses to objections or someone challenging you? So you really want to focus on the planning and preparing of the content that you'll be presenting. And I'm speaking of whether it's in an email, on a text, in a phone conversation, or face-to-face. All of these 6 Ps are relevant for any type of communication that you might have. So you want to plan, then you want to prepare, but then you want to practice. And this is a very undervalued skill for individuals when it comes to really having effective communications. People think, oh, well, speakers, presenters, they practice. No, you as a manager, you as a business owner, you as a friend, a family member, you can actually run through your head or verbally out loud or out on a piece of paper exactly what it is you want to say, how you want to say it, what points you need to get across, what decisions or agreements you need to have made. And all of that, if you practice it, will make you a lot more comfortable and a lot more out of your head and logical and unemotional. And then you want to actually present it. You want to then sit down or get on an email or reach out over the phone and actually present what it is that you've now planned, prepared, and practiced. And you want to go and present that. Then you want to process it. Again, this is a very undervalued step where many people will say to me as a coach, well, Bernadette, I kind of walked away and I still have questions, or I still didn't get any real decision or agreement on what it is that we're supposed to be doing. So what do I do? Well, you do process it for understanding and for clarification and for identifying where there might be gaps or holes in what it was that you set out to do. And then you certainly want to follow up. And you certainly want to plan out what it is you're still confused about, frustrated over, have questions on, disagree with. You want to make sure that you're processing that and you're, giving it some very considerate, intentional time and making note of it. And then you want to pursue it. You want to actually go back and ask those questions, get that clarification, offer up your ideas or suggestions, or raise the disagreements that you have. There's nothing, no conversation is automatically shut down. I don't care if someone even says, like someone said to me the other day, this is our final decision. Well, no, not until I have an opportunity to at least raise my points, my concerns, my disagreements, my own decisions, whatever the case might be. And then once I have had that opportunity, because remember, communication is conversation. It's a two-way street, not just one-sided. So then once you've pursued and you followed up, you can decide if it's closed down and everything is taken care of, or there's still things that you need to be pursuing and following up on. If you could spend just a few moments before, especially for very important communications, again, whether that's email, phone, face-to-face, or even text, if you can just slow down and be very considerate and intentional and purposeful in really thinking through these 6 steps of planning, preparing, practicing, presenting, processing, and pursuing, then it will save you a great deal of frustration when it comes to your communications. All right. Now, if you want more in regards to this and more detail around the specific P's of the 6 P's of communication, then check out my latest blog on balloffirecoaching.com. And it breaks each of these P's down and gives you a little bit more meat around each one of them. All right. And then be sure, please be sure that you are subscribing or liking, whether it's on our YouTube channel or our Facebook page, that you like these rich tips videos, and it'll just help put more eyes and ears onto them. All right. So until next time, I'll see you soon. Bye.